This is an emergency message. Class 4 monsters, the Belto Pack, have appeared in the vicinity of Sadaman Junction. A team from the awakened Class 2 Spearmaster Gam Sang-ho and R. And the Zenkaku team. Gam Sang-ho engages in battle with huge bird-like monsters. The warrior fights one of the largest monsters. The monsters surround Gam Sang-ho, making frightening sounds. One of the monsters opens its mouth, preparing to attack. Gam Sang-ho feels that his eardrums are about to burst from the monster's screams. He uses his ability, a powerful energy discharge. The powerful blow hits several monsters. One of them falls down. Gam Sang-ho, squeezing his eyes shut, sees a bright light. The energy blast also draws the attention of several Belto monsters. The blast of energy continues to spread, striking the monsters and blowing their heads off. Gam Sang-ho, a bit stunned, asks, "What?" The Zenkaku team member is surprised by Gam Sang-ho's efficiency, noting that he destroyed many Beltos in one blow. Gam Sang-ho, smiling slightly at the girl, says he didn't do it. Zenkaku wonders if there are other units around besides them. Gam Sang-ho replies that he hasn't heard of any. He finds the situation odd, considering the unknown burst of energy. Purple crystals are seen on the ground, the remnants of the monsters. Zenkaku is surprised that the monsters were killed but the crystals were left behind. Gam Sang-ho ponders the strange situation. Someone has demonstrated incredible power by destroying the monsters but leaving valuable crystals and disappeared without a trace. He wonders about their purpose. The warrior orders his partner to collect the magical stones and contact the corpse disposal team. Gam Sang-ho looks pensively at the scene of the battle. He notices an establishment called the Diner. The warrior assumes that the owner of the establishment is lucky, as the monster corpses may have fallen towards the diner, but it remained intact. Gam Sang-ho tells the girl that he wants to rest and shower, so he needs to get back to base soon. Some man from the alley is watching the battlefield. He calmly walks into the diner. The guy in the kitchen turns on the stove, grabs a skillet and starts heating it up. Walking over to the food shelf, which has crystals on it as well, he picks out the ingredients. The cook chooses a large piece of meat and sets it on the table. The boy looks at the piece of meat thoughtfully and wonders what kind of dish he should make. He wonders if he has cut off too much of Belto's meat and might leave some for later. The cook ponders that the corpses of the monsters have probably already been taken away, which means another piece of meat will have to go to the market. Someone knocking on the door of the place asks if Kang Cheol-ho is here. When he opens the door, he sees a man in a suit who introduces himself as an employee of the Awakened Association. He asks if Kang Cheol-ho is the cook. The guy replies that he is. The man in the suit explains that there was a Belto attack nearby, but it was over. Kang Cheol agrees that these things happen and that it's commonplace. The man says that even though the world has adapted to monster attacks and learned to defend itself, there is still destruction. The man from the association suddenly smelled a pleasant odor. He noticed that this scent was coming from the diner. Kang said that he had just started cooking. The guy suggested that the man come in for a snack if he was hungry. The man agreed since he hadn't eaten anything all day. Once inside, the man notes the cozy ambiance of the eatery. He asks for a menu, but Kang says there isn't one. The cook explains that he cooks with what he has on hand. Kang announces that today's specialty, Belto steak. The man was shocked to learn the name of the dish. He remembers that these creatures were there in the morning. Kang says that thanks to the fighters he was able to collect several pieces of the creature's meat. The man, knowing that Belto meat is expensive, worries that he will not have enough money. The cook is cutting a huge piece of Belto meat into steaks. He is seasoning the steaks in preparation for cooking. While cooking, Kang remembers. 30 years ago, upon awakening, he found himself in another world full of monsters. He fought to survive in this cruel world. Kang confronted a huge red dragon. After a long battle and gaining incredible strength, he defeats the Demon King. Kang Cheol-ho became very strong during these years of battles. It was a cruel world full of monsters, and he fought to survive. For 30 years, he fought countless monsters, including the Demon King, until he got tired of it all. He studied the tactics of the monsters and learned how to resist them, but returning to Earth came as a surprise. When he returned, he saw that the people of Earth were protecting the world with their own ways and rules. And Kang decided not to interfere, for it was their way. Cheol-ho, satisfied with his work, finishes cooking. The finished dish, belto steak, looks very appetizing. The man can't believe his eyes, because there is a very beautiful dish lying in front of him. He tries the first piece of meat. A look of genuine surprise appears on his face. An employee of the association eats a belto steak with pleasure, noting its juiciness. The chef smilingly watches the employee eating his dish without stopping. The man thinks that it doesn't matter what the price of the steak is because such an exquisite dish is priceless. The employee asks for another belto steak. After eating the second portion, the man asks for the bill. Kang says he doesn't charge new customers, which surprises the customer. The awakened association employee thanks the cook for the food, saying it relieved his fatigue and he'd love to come back for more. The cook smiles, pleased with his work. The association employee insists on paying, leaving $10. He is about to leave and heads for the exit. The man, saying goodbye, wishes Kang to be safe in the next monster attack, because times are tough for ordinary people. He leaves his business card for Kang, saying that if anything happens, he can be called and will help. The card says, Awakened Association, Patrol Division, National Level Hunter Jivu Chu. Kang confirms how hard life is for ordinary people at this time. After seeing his guest off and returning to the kitchen, Kang thinks that this Jivu is not a bad guy. The guy cooks another portion for himself. Kang eats his dish, noticing that he's a really good cook. An owl sits outside, watching the diner. The cook, satisfied with the day gone by, plans to have a drink and relax a bit. He thinks about making appetizers from the belto eggs he bought earlier and ponders how best to prepare them. Kang is cleaning up the diner when someone bursts through the door. A young girl with red hair stands on the doorstep of the establishment, angrily declaring, "So there you are." The cook looks at the girl thoughtfully. The redhead says that she has come for what is hers. Because of the rise of monsters, their meat became a common food item. People have been learned to make many different dishes from monsters. Because of this, markets with monster products became very popular and huge. As Kang approaches the counter with belto eggs, he is not sure if they are authentic, and the seller himself doesn't know what they are because monster eggs are all alike. Kang's eyes began to glow purple. He activated his abilities. He had once stolen an artifact from the Demon King that allowed him to see the target's essence. Now he uses it often when selecting monster eggs, belto, ataho, and raptor. Explains that he can determine the target's strength and inclinations by using the artifact. Kang decides to buy all the eggs and reasons that these powers are best not used in public, as you can learn a lot of bad things. The guy notices one egg that has no information on it, and it interests him. He asks the seller to give him this mysterious egg as well. Kang cooks the monster egg in a pan, remembering how food was a luxury in battle. He adds milk to the dish, noting that he used to consider good food a luxury, but now it's the norm for him. The cook introduces his dish, the Balto's egg omelette. The smell and taste of this dish reminded him of the past as he ate this food on the battlefield with his comrades. Kang enjoys the omelette, noting its flavor and texture. He sat and ate, but if he closed his eyes, he would be plunged back into old memories again. Cheol-ho sits at the table in his diner, looking thoughtfully at his empty plate, and remembers the faces of the people he lost. He ponders an unusual blue egg that he suspects cannot be detected by the eye of detection. Kang remembers the golden dragon from which an artifact is formed that only affects other beings, but not his own kind. Cheol-ho holds up a blue egg and suggests that it might be a dragon egg. He is surprised that he got a dragon egg and thinks about how to cook it. A young girl with red hair walks into the diner and is surprised to see that it is a diner. The redhead declares that she's here for her item. Cheol-ho stands with a blue egg in his hands and the girl points it out. Kang activates the artifact to see who the girl is but sees nothing, and if she came for that dragon egg, The guy asks the girl if she's a dragon. The girl is a little surprised. The redhead can't understand how he knows, but Kang is pleasantly surprised to learn that there are other dragons in the world. The dragon furiously asks how the owner of the diner knew his identity, becoming covered in tongues of flame. Looking at the burning girl, Kang says he has a detect eye artifact. The girl asked in a rage how a human could get hold of such an artifact. Kang remained silent. The girl noticed that he is clearly not an ordinary man and the owner of the diner. The dragon demands that the man return what he took. Kang agrees to give back the egg, but the girl must extinguish her flame. She notices a knife made of blue dragon scales in the kitchen and is wary. The girl also notices the odor from the cutting board and that it is made of dragon bone. The dragon is outraged that humans are using the bones and flesh of her kin as kitchen utensils, and she wants revenge for them. The enraged dragon attacks the man, sentencing him to death. Cheol-ho sighs heavily, dropping her shoulders tiredly. The girl releases a blue energy ball at the guy, which should incinerate him. Cheol-ho, using magic, grabs the frying pan. He covers himself with it. Kang fends off the dragon's attack with the frying pan. The dragon looks at Cheol-ho in surprise. Kang makes a dash towards the girl, swinging the frying pan, and hits the girl in the face with the utensil, incapacitating her. Kang remembers that he once heard her voice. It was a long time ago, when he was still violent and came to the dragon to get the Detect Eye artifact to kill the Demon King. The dragon, huge and menacing, looms over the city and replies to Kang, "This is madness, human folly." The dragon, moving even closer to Kang, promises to destroy him, but another dragon, reaching out its hand, tries to stop his father from fighting the man. The little frightened dragon says, "I saw him 30 years ago. Father, you're going to get kicked for sure." Kang, seeing the dragon, asks in surprise, "Hey Chem, a child? You shouldn't see that." The redhead wakes up. Cheol-ho, sitting at the table, offers to talk to her. He says she's made a mess of the place, and after he cleans up, he'll give her her stuff. Kang adds, "I don't like dragons for personal reasons, so if you don't listen, I'll have to use force." The redhead starts cleaning with fear. As she cleans the diner, she talks about her appearance in this world. "I was born on the continent of Espan and recently came here because of a dimensional rift." Kang ponders that apparently no one has discovered this rift yet, and the egg probably came from here too. He tells the girl that in her world his name was Mirolikas, but in this world he's Kang Cheol-ho and asks if she's heard of him. But notices that she doesn't mop the floor well and threatens not to give her stuff back. After a while, Kang admits that the floor is mopped after all and lets the girl take her things. The redhead asks why Cheol-ho didn't return her father's artifact after killing the Demon King. Kang asks who her father is. "The dragon Ekman Rex," she replies. Guy notices that her aura resembles one he's seen before and realizes she's that little dragon. He asks her to come over, but she's afraid. After all, he hit her with a frying pan. Kang explains that he doesn't beat up dragons anymore. Cheol-ho asks how old she is. "Over 50, she replies. Kang says he's 60. "What are you, an elf?" the girl suggests. "They live a long time," he smiles smugly. "Do I look like an elf? Beautiful?" "No," she replies angrily. Kang declares that she was up to his task and adds that she is not the first dragon he has re-educated. He laughs. It's funny to see a dragon tiptoeing in front of a human because of an egg. The girl screams that he's cruel and doesn't realize that even though she's a dragon, she can be scared too. He's killed her kin and may kill her too. Cheol-ho explains that she's got it all wrong. The knife and cutting board were gifts. He did hit dragons, but he didn't kill any. He also apologizes for not returning the artifact, explaining that it broke during the battle with the Demon King, and that he really needed the artifact. Cheol-ho offers the girl a drink, noticing that she clearly has something to say. The redhead is indignant. "How can I drink with a mere human?" But after a while, she passes out from the alcohol. The girl says that Kang has now earned the title of first man to drink with a dragon, but the guy remarks that he's had it for a long time. Cheol-ho asks the girl if she laid that egg, to which the girl replies that he's a male and can't lay eggs, and that egg is his little brother. The young man tells her that not too long ago, a dimensional crack formed in the dragon's lair, and his parents were out of town. The girl, lying on the table, tells him that she came to this world 6 months ago after becoming an interdimensional wanderer. She asks Kang why he came back to Earth. The man says he had some time-sensitive business to attend to. The girl wonders why the hero is hiding in this rundown diner. After all, with such power he could easily take control of the world and the monsters are running around like crazy. The girl says that if he intervened, he might have stopped the wars and invasions. He could have brought order and the world would have prospered. Kang admits that he's sick and tired of it all. Let the people sort it out for themselves. The girl says she doesn't trust what people say, and Cheol-ho advises her to take care of her people and at the moment, her brother. She grabs the egg and hugs it tightly. But it started to move and the girl couldn't hold it. The man rebuked the girl. I told you to take care of it. When Kang opened his eyes, he saw a strange creature in front of him. The baby dragon waved his paw and the girl looked at them sweetly. The little dragon cub squeaked happily. Phew! And the girl said, That's my baby brother. The man looked at the dragon cub and listened as the girl said contentedly that she had a brother. Kang asked what his name was, but the girl hadn't come up with a name yet. The man asked, Is it a male or a female? And the girl replied, My brother is a girl. And don't you dare treat her like an animal. The man holding the dragon cub remarked, She looks like a mouse, but she already has teeth. Are dragons omnivores? Kang looked at the dragon. The girl spoke. That's my little sister. She's cute, isn't she? She's the cutest. Cheol-ho strokes the little dragon, saying, Yes, yes. He asks where she's going to take the baby dragon. The girl hesitates. Cheol-ho looks at her thoughtfully. The man smiles enigmatically. He lets them stay here for now and promises to feed them. A strong, devastating wind. As the wind carried the strong odor of blood. The last drink drunk and the smell of blood. A mysterious, pale, blonde-haired creature shouts the name Miro and says he is alive. The diner serves a fast-growing hamburger steak of Belto and Triceratops meat. Kang and his new acquaintances were having lunch. The man asked them where they would go now, but the girl didn't know what to say and asked how much lunch cost. Kang Cheol-ho says lunch costs $10, but they can leave without paying anything. The girl asks if the diner has rooms. Kang Cheol-ho doesn't know what to answer. He reflects on how lonely it is to be in another world, and it's hard to ask for help, since dragons are proud as always. The girl gives him some Class 4 magic stones, saying that they are valuable in this world. She asks to take them. Kang starts laughing. The girl is surprised by the laughter. He looks at the cute little dragon, noting that it's still hungry. Kang fights the little dragon, thinking that this little one will have a hard time on Earth. He admits to himself that he misses the other world a little. Kang Cheol-ho thinks sadly that he may never see his companion again. The man lets the guys stay at his place for a few days, which makes them very happy. The girl admits that even though Kang has given them food and lodging, she still finds it hard to trust him, but the man isn't deterred. Kang raised the finger from which some kind of power oozed out. With a wave of his hand, he activated some kind of dark portal. Kasim, an immortal goblin, appeared out of the portal. He said hello to the king of the world, noting that they hadn't seen each other in a while. The girl was surprised by the goblin's appearance, but Kang greeted his old friend, reminding her that he had asked her not to call him king. Kasim apologizes, remembering that the man is now simply Cheol-ho, and asked why he was called. Kang asked how many rocks they have in the secret space now. Kasim shows a huge amount of magic stones, clarifying that there aren't many high-quality stones. Kang asks to add another stone to it, giving it to the goblin. He tells Kasim not to hide this stone too far away, perhaps it will come in handy soon. The girl is amazed at the amount of magic stones that are just lying around. The goblin walks back into the portal and says goodbye to Kang. The man sees his old friend off with a look. Kang Cheol-ho asks the girl to help him with his work. Sunlight illuminates the diner. A baby dragon sleeps on a pillow. He continues to sleep despite the explosion behind him. Cheol-ho teaches the redhead to control the flow of fire, otherwise the place will burn down. He holds a large piece of meat on his sword, and the girl tries to hit it with fire. Having sufficiently roasted it, they have a kebab of ataho meat cooked on a spit. The girl notices that the spear isn't exactly a common weapon. She recalls that this weapon was created in the world of the dwarves. It is the greatest weapon they have ever made. She is perplexed as to why Kang is using priceless treasures for cooking. He says it's better to use such things than to store them like dragons. She agrees with his remark. Someone greets Kang, calling him boss. Jivu Yechu walks into the diner. He was patrolling nearby and decides to stop by. Jivu notes that the diner smells really good. A man notices that there seems to be new staff at the diner, which confuses the girl. There's a new dungeon in the underground passage between Shinchin and Sadamen, and the Awakened Association is recruiting awakened people to explore it. Kang listens attentively. He ponders. Dungeons are places where monsters are bred. And this new one is a kind of portal from another dimension. Kang thinks it could be dangerous, as evil beings from other dimensions could escape from there. While Gamsang-hu is guarded by the Spearmaster, Shinshin is guarded by the Ice Witch Chean. A reserve team of volunteers is formed just in case. Jivyu is sad to see so many awakened ones looking for work, most of them breadwinners for their families. He thanks them for lunch and says it's time to go. The girl notices that the ataho meat she has fried seems to be to the customer's liking. The customer ponders whether to buy more ataho meat. Kang also ponders whether to get 10 pieces of fillet at once. At the market, he asks for a whole ataho carcass. Later, the man notices a raiding party gathering. Among them is a familiar face. Kang recognizes Gamsang-ku, an awakened second class. He thinks about how the modern raid system resembles online gaming. The gaming experience has really helped him quickly grasp the new reality. Kang speculates about the imbalance of roles in raid groups, especially the overabundance of DPS. Some man tries to get into an offensive group but is turned down. Healers are needed now. Kang recalls Jivu's words. It's hard for awakened people with low attack abilities to find jobs. And most of them have families. He thinks Jivu is a good guy. He needs to take care of himself to keep helping people. Kang takes his wallet out of his pocket. He opens it. It's empty. He walks down the street in despair. Later, he goes back to the restaurant and puts the bag of meat in the kitchen. He stands in the middle of the kitchen and notices that the girl is gone. He doesn't know if she will come back. Some man walks into the diner and asks if they are still open. Kang sits the man down at a table and gives him some cutlery. The man orders ramen. Kang reflects that noodles have changed a lot in price and flavor in 30 years. His dishes are much better. The man asks the price for a portion of noodles. The cook replies that it is $2. The visitor is surprised at the low price and orders 5 servings. The cook asks if you can eat that much. The man says yes without a drop of doubt. Kang is interested in the man and activates his Detect Eye artifact. The artifact reveals that the employee has the God of Food ability. Kang's comrade had this ability. The cook explains that the more you eat, the stronger you become, especially if it's monster meat. Also that the God of Food ability is very weak at the beginning, and to strengthen it, you have to eat strong monster meat while constantly feeling hungry. He adds that as the ability progresses, the hunger decreases and the food becomes tastier. Kang notices that the customer hasn't reached that skill level yet. The cook starts cooking. A customer gets a huge portion of noodles with fried ataho meat. The chef says the dish is on the house. Kang philosophically remarks that in chaos, good people are the first to perish, and that he would probably ignore the customer's ability if the customer wasn't a food god. A man takes a piece of meat. He bites it greedily. The customer eats the ataho meat with pleasure, noting the flavor. He tells Kang that he didn't realize meat could be so delicious. The man enjoys eating the noodles prepared by Kang Cheol-ho. He finishes the noodles, emptying the bowl. The man gazes admiringly at the empty bowl, noting how delicious the meal was. He thanks the cook for the wonderful meal. The man digs through his wallet, looking for the money for the meal. A small box falls out along with it. He collects the coins in the box and the tie that fell out of it. The man apologizes for the dirty money and thanks again for the delicious food. Kang accepts the thanks and says it's no problem. The man leaves, promising to come back next time. Kang is surprised. The man's clothes are dirty and dusty, and his tie is new. At that moment the girl returns. He had already forgotten how difficult life can be for ordinary people. He felt truly sorry for this man. The man was walking home, looking at his box. He looked very tired and weak. Suddenly, the gate exploded, with dark energy bursting out from it. The portal appeared right in the middle of the city and panic began in the streets. The awakened tried to keep the crowd from approaching the danger zone. A man introduced himself as an awakened one and asked how he could help. The awakened man, assessing the situation, noted that this was no ordinary dungeon. The awakened girl was trying to save a wounded man using her abilities. Someone shouted out, "Mijin!" Turning around, the girl saw her father. The man, seeing his daughter, shouted, "Mijin, Mijin!" and ran towards her. Her father asks what she is doing in such a dangerous place, and the girl replies that there are many injured people. so the school has sent students to help. The daughter worries about her father, who is in a dangerous area, and he asks her to leave quickly. The daughter scolds her father for risking his life instead of just eating and working like he said he would. The daughter again asks her father to leave, saying that his behavior looks pathetic. The girl notices the box her father dropped. The daughter notices that her father doesn't have a proper weapon. Someone comes out of the portal. Captain Gensun-woo's squad has arrived. Zenkaku announces that the danger is over and everyone is asked to help the wounded. The daughter, a little flustered, agrees to help the wounded. A man stands on the road, realizing that he is unable to help anyone. Cook Kang Cheol-ho is cleaning his large knife. The Awakens class system and their skill levels are explained. There is a special school called Chiffer School in this world to help awaken their powers. An awakened person can choose a second class based on their abilities and desires. Kang Cheol-ho shows off his incredible skills. He uses telekinesis to control several knives to cut meat. It is explained that awakened people with useless abilities or slow growth find peace in what suits them. Such people need to find a cause that will help them improve. Kang Cheol-ho talks about how he reached the 6th grade in the final battle, and he can't improve his grade anymore. The girl calls Miro, but he corrects her. Cheol-ho is his name. The girl asks him to come over. The girl chooses a name for her brother. His name is Keol, and he starts talking. Kang notices that Keol is orange in Korean. The girl is very happy and hugs her brother. The little dragon Cheol laughs happily and pulls his paws toward Cheol-ho. Kang is amazed. The dragon has spoken. The man wonders if the name Keol sounds too Korean, since the dragon was born in this world. The girl notes that the dragon calls him Daddy. Kang says that dragons are born already having some class. I wonder what Keol's class is. Their dialogue is interrupted by someone, which makes the girl angry. Someone calls Kang boss. A man walks into the diner and asks for 5 portions of ramen. The girl is angry that she has to work in a real restaurant. The man tells the cook that he tried to get to a meeting about the monster attack today and accidentally met his daughter. I couldn't even say anything or help her because I'm considered a level 7 awakened. Not much stronger than a normal person. But my daughter, having awakened at a young age, is already considered a level 3 awakened, and she will probably be highly regarded in the Awakened Association. This is the girl you saw last time. I went to her school because it was a class observation day. I thought I'd at least buy her something so she could go to school, but it turns out I can barely afford one tie. Either way, it's better if I don't go to that observation. What good is a father who can't even properly provide for his daughter to finish school? Even in this situation, I'm still hungry. Damn it. A useless awakening related to food. But I still need to eat like this so I can be sent to the place where the buildings collapsed due to the portal explosion. Kang walked into the kitchen and addressed the girl. Kang. She asked, "What happened?" He asked, "Would it be okay if I fatten you up?" The girl shouted, "You bastard! Did you wait for me to gain weight?" Like a predator waiting for its prey to fatten up. Kang asks what is that blue skin on the table. The girl replies that they are Kyle's pelts. She collects them. The girl asks why Kang is looking at them thoughtfully. The redhead shouts that she was collecting Keol's pelts as a keepsake. An appetizing dish is shown, a huge bowl of ramen with fried ataho meat and kill pelts. Cheol-ho shows the guest the leftover monster meat, offering to savor it. The guest tastes the meat and eats it happily. Kang looks out the window, listening to his guest eating nearby. The guest leaves some crumpled dollars on the table as a tip. The guest thanks Cheol-ho for listening to him and feeding him. Cheol-ho calmly replies that it's not worth the thanks. As the man leaves the diner, he philosophically remarks that life is full of difficulties. Kang replies that good things happen for those who work hard. He wishes the man good luck and will be waiting for him as soon as possible. With a smile, he adds, "Come back again." At the diner, Kang Cheol-ho and Kang discuss what happened. The girl is perplexed as to why nothing has changed. Kang points out that Cheol-ho helped him as much as he could. The man ate the skin he dropped, which turned out to be helpful. Girl wonders about the reason for Cheol-ho's help. Cheol-ho looks thoughtfully at Kyle's sleeping dragon, saying that his father had the same problems as this man. In the evening, the man comes home. His daughter, a girl with blue hair, is sleeping peacefully on the bed after a busy day. The girl's father, concerned, discovers that she has picked up his tie, which he had dropped. The daughter wakes up and, seeing her father, apologizes for the disturbance. The father reassures the daughter, saying that everything is fine and apologizes to her. The man apologizes for not being able to provide her with a comfortable life. The father covers his daughter with a blanket, assuring her of his love. In the morning, a man is in a hurry to go somewhere. A member of the Awakened Association checks the man's ID. The man asks him his name and he replies Kim Manhwa. The officer reminds Kim that it will be difficult, and if he proves himself worthy, he will be taken into the team. The Awakened squad gathers in front of the portal from which the dark energy emanates. The commander gives the order to move out. Kang walks calmly through the city. A bus passes by him quickly. The bus labeled Zenkaku pulls away. The team has probably already left for the mission. Kang stares after it. A dark portal appears over the city and energy bursts out of it. People watch the phenomenon. Kim Sang-ho, the spearmaster, excitedly reports that the portal is closed. The situation is tense. The Awakened Association headquarters discusses the situation, reporting that a group of Crystal Company has entered the portal. A group of people stand in front of the dark portal, fear and worry on their faces. The girl realizes that her father is there. The foot of a man with a boot is standing on the ground. The Awakened team is preparing to mop up the dungeon. The orders are not to spray, destroy the smaller monsters first. Suddenly, the team is attacked by a huge predatory dinosaur. Kim engages the dinosaur using hand-to-hand combat. The man, a bit dazed, notes that he is overflowing with a strange energy, though he must be exhausted. One of Kim's partners notices something strange. A huge crack appears in the dungeon, from which something bursts out. Another awakened one appears from the crack, ready to fight. A huge paw of an unknown monster is seen advancing on the team. The huge dinosaur attacks again. The awakened one realizes it's a hidden boss. There is another boss hidden in the dungeon, and usually these bosses appear when an interdimensional crack opens, an extremely rare occurrence. One of the squad members yells out that the boss is approaching and they need to hurry. When such a boss appears, the dungeon clearing squad is almost always killed. And this is what they are facing now. The man, one of the squad members, is tense and sweating with fear and tension. The man notices a magic crystal left over from a slain monster. He realizes that even a B-grade crystal is a whole week's salary, and with that money, he will be able to buy his daughter nice clothes and good food. The man shouts to the other members of the squad to hurry, for he has found a valuable crystal. He takes the crystal, realizing that he will now be able to provide for his family. A huge Tyrannosaurus attacks the man, opening its fearsome maw. The dinosaur throws the man aside with a blow of its head. The man realizes that Mijin's words about his pitiful condition were true. He thinks back to his daughter. He remembers her helping the victims after the portal exploded. He remembers her crying, her going to school, how she brought home her grades and bragged about them, remembering the girl crying at her mother's funeral, and her birth. He hears her voice and gains strength. Mijin's father realizes he can't die leaving his daughter alone. Kim stands in front of the dinosaur, preparing to fight. The monster's huge paw descends to the ground, raising a cloud of dust. The dinosaur picks up speed and runs at the man. Kim is full of strength, his face expressing determination. The man's face is contorted with a grimace of tension. He screams that he can't die now. The man delivers a powerful fist strike to the monster's jaw. The man's hand is surrounded by a red light. He is clearly using some sort of ability. His partner sees this and says it's a rank upgrade. The man, glowing with red light, asks himself if he can now defeat the monster. The Tyrannosaurus opens its mouth, ready to attack. The man, looking at the monster, says that for the first time in his life, he is not hungry. Kim holds the huge Tyrannosaurus back, clutching at its jaw. The Tyrannosaurus thrashes violently, trying to move the man, the ground around them shaking. Kim holds on tight with his legs. Despite the monster's power, he doesn't give up. The man grits his teeth, his face tense, determined to keep fighting. Kang Cheol-ho appears on the battlefield, holding his spear. He orders everyone to evacuate and stays behind to help the man fight the monster. Everyone is amazed at Kim's strength. He is single-handedly holding back such a huge dinosaur. Kang Cheol-ho smiles and says that Kim seems to be a master and he will come in handy on their team. Kim continues to restrain the monster. Information about the man appears. Tendency, kind, class, shikshin, class proficiency, intermediate, acquired abilities, high. Gamsang-hoo jumps on the dinosaur's back trying to help Kim. Somewhere, Kang is thinking about Kim and hoping that he will succeed. Gamsang-hoo leads Kim out of the portal, saying he did a great job holding on. The little dragon Cheol is crying. The news reports, the hidden dungeon boss Sedaemin has been defeated by the awakened level 7 Kim Manhwa. Manhwa, despite only using his final skill, was able to rise to Shikshin level 3 and contributed the most to the victory. The Awakened Association recognized the error in Manhwa's level estimation and is going to take action and pay him a large reward. Kang Cheol-ho is holding Cheol's dragon cub. Cheol has grown a little bigger and heavier. He calls Cheol-ho daddy. Cheol-ho refuses to recognize himself as Cheol's father, but Kyle continues to call him daddy. Due to the increasing theft of small items, mostly glitter and food, many merchants in Sedaemin are suffering from headaches. A thief obsessed with shiny items and food has finally been discovered, and now large quantities of low-grade mana crystals are going missing in Sedaemin. The public is demanding the intervention of the Awakened Association, and all citizens are asked to be cautious. A small dragonkin gives Kang a drink of water. Ken bursts into the room and yells for no one to drink this water. It's dirty. Kang asks why she comes to him in the morning with such a heavy aura. She explains that Ko learned about wells from a picture book, and thought that a well was just a place where water was taken from. Kang sighs and admits, yes, in Cheol's eyes a well and a toilet are apparently the same thing. After a while, Jivu praises Kang's food again. The cook explains that he recently got good ingredients from the Shinchin area. Someone walks into the diner. It's Kim in a strict suit. After greeting the owner, he goes inside, followed by another man. Kim says that he has come with Gamsang-hoo. Cheol-ho greets Gamsang-hoo, noting that he's heard a lot about him. Jivu notices Gamsang-hoo and greets him. But the captain is not too pleased. He thinks the place looks too plain. Then Jivu notices Kim and says that he is happy to meet his new hero. The association officer is surprised that Kim is also eating at Kang's. They'll be able to see each other more often now, which is great considering Kim's strength. Kim Manhwa smiles modestly, saying it's all thanks to Cheol-ho. Kang waves back. I was only feeding him. The cook asks Kim if he'll be ordering the usual. Kim confirms, ramen. Gamsang-hoo orders ramen as well. Kim quickly eats his portion, and Gamsang-hoo is surprised at the speed with which he managed it. Seeing the empty plate, he remarks, "You are truly amazing." Kim is about to leave, saying he has to go to his daughter's school and apologizes for having to leave the captain. While reading the newspaper, Kang overhears Gamsang-hoo praising Kim and telling him to rest more and spend time with his family. Kang is very happy that the man has people supporting him. He notices that the diner is too quiet. The cook notices Gamsang-hoo staring thoughtfully at his plate. The captain looks a little tired. He was remembering something. Once he yelled at a man, "Hey, you crazy bastard! You better not touch anything since you dare to disturb a sacred creature." The fire wolf, incredibly powerful and formidable, soared above the city, displaying its strength. Its teeth were sharp and its burning eyes inspired terror. The fire wolf let out a deafening roar, its maw wide open and its body enveloped in flames.